Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment.
High fly ball, deep center, going back. Judge still back on the track at the wall. He leaps and he makes the play.
5 minutes later.
High drive, deep left center. There it goes. See ya.
Today is Wednesday, April 19th, 2023, and the Yankees are trying to bounce back in Game 2 of a 3-game set with the Angels. On the mound was Johnny Brito in a possible make-or-break start for his rotation future. My recap and your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
These days, anyone can find out pretty much anything on the internet, including your full legal name, your personal email, home address, phone number, etc., even the name of your relatives. This information is accessible because of data brokers who profit by selling your information to robocallers, telemarketers, spammers, and other annoying baddies. That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura will identify data brokers that are exposing your information and automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf. They'll even opt out of your junk mail and telemarketing lists. You can use my link, aura.com/NYY Recaps, to try for 2 weeks and see how many data brokers are sharing your information. It's also linked in my description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online. Use my link or code to get 2 weeks free. Get started today. Again, that's aura.com/NYY Recaps. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. If you tuned in tonight expecting to see some Josh Donaldson highlights because he was supposed to come back today, no such luck. The hamstring is still sore, and he's going to be a bit longer. But good news, if you're tuning in for Aaron Judge highlights and a walk-off recap, you are in luck. So this was a pretty close contest. Can't say it was the cleanest game. The Yankees definitely wasted some opportunities with men on base again. There were just some interesting situations that I felt like the Yankees should have scored, or, a play here or there that could have gone a little bit better. But ultimately, a win is a win. Big story tonight was Aaron Judge, but one of the other big stories was the mysterious Johnny Brito. So he's a guy who was lights out first 2 times out and then got absolutely nuked by the Twins last week. Verdict is in for tonight. He was better. He wasn't perfect, but he was a damn sight better than last time. So Aaron Judge had a pretty damn good first inning tonight. Top half of the inning, he took away another home run from Shohei Ohtani. Second time he's done that in as many years. And it was a really athletic play because not only did he get way over the wall, I mean, that glove was way over the wall, but he didn't catch it clean. It hit the heel of his glove, so he had to catch it again with his free bare hand as he was falling. Do you realize how athletic that was? Do you realize how many damn neurons had to be firing to make that happen? You're talking about mid-air reflexes, hand-eye coordination, awareness of his position relative to the wall in space, all while wearing shoes that have metal spikes on them and you're trying to not spike yourself. Yeah, geez. Also, this wasn't the backyard. Probably a million people watching, and he had thousands of people screaming at him within 20 feet. I mean, the man is just incredible. He's just incredible. Great call by Michael K., by the way. The long arm of the law. The man has a way with words. Bottom half, Volpe singled to lead off the game. He had a good night. He was tormenting the pitcher with Judge at the plate, something we thought might happen if you stick him in that leadoff spot. And you already know what happened.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Judgy and Blast.
Judgy and Blast.
All rise. Here comes
2-run shot,
Judge.
6th home run of the season. And look, I thought it was going a lot farther than it ended up going. The StatCast data said 412 feet. Honestly, I thought it went 420, 430 at least. So I was a little bit surprised by that. Volpe, again, had a terrific night, not only distracting the pitcher with Judge at the plate, he also made a phenomenal play at shortstop in the top of the fourth. Let's hear it for Volpe. The early read on his StatCast metrics are that he's got great range. He's in the top 25% or so in the league in outs above average, so amount of balls he gets to essentially. The arm strength is in about the bottom third or so, but he makes up for that with a quick release, and you saw that tonight. The minute he made that play, he hit the ground and got up, and the ball was already moving. He's just got great hands, and I think he's going to be a really good shortstop. Would you like a little bit better arm? Sure, but I think his arm will play. I think it's fine. Brito was done after 4 1/3 innings. He left with runners on second and third. Mike King allowed one of them to score, but the final line wasn't bad. 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and he struck out 3. Overall, not bad. His command obviously was not amazing. And if Judge didn't rob the home run from Ohtani, the line would have been a little bit worse overall. But he kept us in the game, which is all you can really ask of a young pitcher. And it's more than you can say from Mr. 8.79 ERA, who pitched last night. Yanks put both Judge and Rizzo on base in the 6th inning. This was one of those situations I was talking about. Couldn't score. I felt like that was an opportunity wasted. Cost you an extra inning. Mike King did a pretty solid job tonight. Got to give him a round of applause. 2 1/3 scoreless innings, 4 strikeouts. Did allow an inherited run to score. And I still don't think his velocity is where it was pre-injury. But, he's been effective the last couple of times out. So it's what you want. Wandy Peralta came in with 2 on and 2 out and struck out Ohtani in a huge spot in the 7th. Wandy was fired up. But in the top of the 8th, he balked and allowed Hunter Renfroe to get to second base. And then Gio Urshela singled the tying run. And that was obviously what forced extra innings. Also in the 8th, though, Aaron Judge made another outstanding play. Ran down a ball in the gap, diving catch. I mean, honestly, I think he's a better center fielder than he is a right fielder right now. Right field, at least, well, I don't know better, but I think I'd rather have him in center field. In right field, you have to deal with the wall and him running into the wall and dealing with all that. In center field, you just let him be athletic. Run balls down. You're not typically going to slam into the center field wall like you would the right field wall, or the right field foul territory wall at least. But anyway, nice job by Aaron Judge tonight. Somebody had a comment last night that Judge seems relaxed now that he got a big contract. I don't think so. I think he's just as intense as he's ever been. Great job tonight by Judgy. Louis Penn says, it was all Judge early in the game. He was tremendous. Bottom 8, Anthony Volpe led off the inning with his second hit of the game. That got him off the interstate. His average now is at 204. He popped up a bunt later in the game. We'll talk about that in a second. He got stranded on third, but you can tell he's feeling more confident. He also made a nice defensive play in the 9th inning as well. Clay Holmes came in. He gave us all a collective heart attack again. I mean, you just never know with Clay Holmes. I don't feel comfortable with him in the closer role. When the sinker is on, it's probably one of the best pitches in baseball. But the problem is he gets in his head. He loses the strike zone. He can't dial it back in a lot of times when he gets out of the strike zone. Got to work on those things. Bottom 9, Oswald Peraza pinch hit for Willie Calhoun and got hit by a pitch. Cabrera tried to bunt him over, but Gio made a nice play to nail the runner at second. Gio was playing first base tonight, and he did a hell of a job over there. Cabrera ended up stealing second, and then IKF pinch hit for Cordero and struck out to send the game to extra innings. Ugh. Ian Hamilton, though, worked a fantastic top of the 10th. You got the Manfred runner on second base, so you can't allow any hits, essentially, or you're going to be tied, or, the Angels are going to go ahead. And he stranded the runner. So really great job. Bottom 10, Volpe tried to bunt over the Manfred runner. And as we mentioned, he popped up. I believe it went right to the pitcher. So pretty much the worst possible outcome. Angels responded by walking Aaron Judge, and then Rizzo got hit by a big roundhouse curveball that was kind of a hanger. Hit him right in the back. I think we got a cat jumping up here right now. But that brought up Gleyber Torres with the bases loaded, and my man picked up a sac fly. He was in a 1-for-21 slump. But in that situation, all you need to do is get the ball deep to the outfield somewhere where the runner can tag, and that's what happened. And the Yankees win the game.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win. You're a winner.
Now, we always do the belt after a win, and tonight, really there were a lot of great candidates. Volpe, I thought, had a terrific night, and if he had driven in the winning run there in the top of the 10th, I probably would have gone with him. I thought Mike King deserved some real consideration. He did a nice job, but Wandy had to bail him out. There's really only one guy who had a flawless night, in my opinion, and that was Mr. Aaron Judge. And we've also got Peraza up there by accident. I'll remove that. Boom. Aaron Judge picks up the belt. We can have Frankie give us the info, the intel. Judge's second belt of the year. I think Garrett Cole has 4. So he's dominating. As you can see, maybe you can't see. We got cats going crazy behind me. So these are the new mascots, Duchess and Dexter. And they're finally getting big enough to cause some real trouble. So we got them climbing up curtains and jumping on desks and knocking stuff over. So if the program does get disrupted, it is not my fault. Just blame the kiddies. So Judge, big night. Twig says he's going to have to play every game this year to make it. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to play him every game, but I can expect him to, if he stays healthy, play in 150-plus games like he did last year. Eric Chacon says Clay Holmes is not a closer, but I think he can still work in the 7th or the 8th inning. And I got to say, I agree. I just don't think he's got the command of the baseball to pitch the 9th inning because, when you're going in there with 1 run, you really can't allow base runners. 1-run lead, a closer goes in, a lot of times with a 1-run lead, you've got to be able to throw strikes. You can't immediately allow them to, put runners on base and create a rally. Honestly, I know he's not the sexiest option in terms of stuff, but Wandy Peralta, I'd be perfectly fine running Wandy Peralta out there as my everyday closer. He's reliable most of the time. What's his ERA this season? 1.29. Mike King, 1.50, but I think he's in the position that he wants to be in. Honestly, Ian Hamilton's not, he hasn't done enough yet to kind of earn that role, but he's got the stuff of a closer. And he might end up being one of those, Brian Cashman and pitching lab projects where they're able to, turn him into a dominant reliever, as they've done with many people. Steve says, does Volpe's 8 stolen bases lead the league? It does not. Cedric Mullen had 9 going into tonight. I don't know if he's got any tonight, but Volpe actually had 2 stolen bases at one point tonight, but they reversed the call. The scorer reversed it to a wild pitch, the first one. So, stays with 8, but we'll take it. I think if he stays healthy, I think 50 steals is well within his purview. I mean, we're not even all the way through April, and he's got 8. He's probably going to have at least 10 or 15 by the end of April, depending on how well he gets on base the next 10 days or so. And then you got 5 more months of him feeling comfortable. I got to say, 50 stolen bases seems well within reason. Frankie Baseball says, NYY Recaps. Love it. By the way, the NYYPD episode this week, Frankie and Pete, we're going to be doing a pregame, and I might move it to a pregame in general on Friday. We're going to be doing 6 o'clock before the Blue Jay game, which comes on at 7. So we'll be able to preview that series a little bit, talk about what we expect. So look at that catch by Judge. I mean, hits off the heel of the glove, bounces out, and while he's falling, he adjusts. Unbelievable. You know, Volpe had a couple of rockets tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box score. So Volpe, multi-hit game. I think he's either had one or two multi-hit games, but he doesn't have a lot of hits. But he's hitting over 300 in his last 7 games, according to Max Goodman. Judge 1 for 3 with 2 walks and the big 2-run home run, hitting 274. OPS 979. We know last year he hit over 300. I think he will hit over 300 again. I think he had a hot start, cooled off a little, and I think he's going to heat back up. Now, last night when he ran into that sidewall a few times, he was flexing that hand. You know, you see him out there, and then tonight he grimaced on I guess on a bad swing or whatever, and you saw him do it again. I'm wondering if he's got a little something that he's kind of, it's not a bad injury, but it's something that's just kind of nagging him. That worries me. Douglas says a 120 hitter as a pinch hitter tonight. He's referring to IKF. That's how we do it. Awful. Susan Menenga says they would try Abreu at closer. I think Abreu's got a similar kind of situation as Clay Holmes where he can lose the strike zone, but he does have the closer fastball. Not sure he has the closer breaking stuff right now. We've seen it from time to time. It's not consistent, but you know, you as a closer, you really got to have 2 reliable pitches, and you got to be able to throw them for strikes. Unless you're Mariano Rivera and you just throw the same pitch, you know, really, people say that Mariano really only threw 1 pitch, but it was really multiple pitches because he could cut it like slightly different. Like he could cut it backdoor to a lefty to where it looks like it's outside and it breaks over the outside corner. Or he could, you know, throw it to where it breaks in on your hands. Those are 2 different things that the batter has to guard against. So that's really 2 different pitches, even though it's the same type of pitch. Eric C says, Peralta is the left-handed specialist. He's more valuable in middle relief. I can see that, but the thing is he gets righties out well. He's got a great changeup, and the changeup works really good against righties. I'd be comfortable, you know, leaving him where he is or using him as the closer. The point I'm trying to make is that you need somebody a bit more reliable, a bit of the Peralta mindset. Really, it's more about the mindset than the stuff with Peralta. So Brito, just 1 earned run tonight, and then the bullpen did a really fantastic job. But Yankees, take this one. We do need another lefty. Andres brings up the point that the Yankees don't have a lot of lefties in the bullpen. You know, last year you had at least Lucas Litke. I don't know what he's doing this year. I think he's with Atlanta. But, you know, I miss Litke. He was a solid middle-of-the-game kind of guy. But I think the Yankees have enough righties that have effective pitches against lefties that they can make it work. B. Peck says any timeline on Efros. Sounds like he's out for the season because he had Tommy John surgery right at the end of the year. You know, the Yankees traded for him at the trade deadline. I believe he was already hurt. And then he came back and pitched a little bit. And then I believe before the ALDS, you found out that he needed surgery. It's amazing the luck or the lack thereof that Cashman has had with these acquisitions. Montas did jack shit, and he was injured before they traded for him. Bader was injured when they got him. Was great for the playoffs, but been out all year this year. They signed Rodon. Look, I got it. Rodon. WNBC. They signed Rodon, and, you know, he's been out. We don't know when we're getting him back. Really, it's just been a mess. Every acquisition just about, except for these under-the-radar guys like Ian Hamilton. Dylan Poppins says, Wandy doesn't feel pressure. Always cool, calm, and collected.
I hardly agree.
Yeah, the man's got balls of steel. Dr. Hitskin says, Volpe is a good base stealer. Above average speed, but not Ricky Henderson ludicrous speed. If you guys want, now's a good time we can look at some of the baseball savant stuff now that we're getting into some of the, slightly bigger sample sizes. So let me pull up that screen here. Now, sometimes it takes a second for the actual StatCast data to load. But let's hope it loads. It's going pretty slow. But anyway, what we're seeing is he's got a max exit velocity of 103.1, average exit velocity of 86.2. That's a little bit below major league average. I'm not sure why the actual StatCast charts are not showing up. So we might have to scrap this idea. Sometimes Baseball Savant sucks in that way. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to try and refresh the page real quick and see if they pop up. And they're not. So we're going to can that idea. It is what it is. But, you know, as I mentioned earlier, his arm strength isn't great, but his range is great. The speed, I think he's at about, you know, the 90th percentile, top 10% of the league, which is solid. Okay, James G says Volpe 85th percentile in sprint speed. His secret weapon is high base running IQ, high baseball IQ in general.
Absolutely. Hey.
And rather not say TV says IKF should be our closer. IKF, of course, pitched the scoreless inning earlier this month. Hey, we're doing a recap at around 11 p.m. We're having flashbacks to the last couple of years. Not used to this with the pitch clock, but let's wrap things up so you guys can get some shut-eye.
Game over, man. Game over.
4 o'clock game tomorrow. That'll put the recap around 7.
You gotta go.
Got another dono here. Louis says, I think we have a potential all-star team on the injury list. Yeah, it's, you know, with Stanton out, that's a big blow. Michael K brought it up tonight. He really strengthens that lineup. He elongates it. It's just harder to navigate through the meat of the order as a pitcher. You know, you get through Judge and you somehow get through Rizzo. It's like, oh, man, now I got to get Giancarlo Stanton, and I can't make any mistakes. That's a long time to go without making any mistakes as a pitcher. All right, guys, Yankees win their first walk-off of the year. Might as well listen to it one more time from Mr. John Sterling.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win. You're a winner.
Derek Q says, best news all day was JD staying on the IL. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. All right, guys. I'll see you next time.
Hey, everybody. If you've made it this far, we thank you. If you'd like to support NYY Recaps, please like and subscribe or pay a visit to our Shopify store for some great Yankees merch.
Yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. But if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, just visit NYYRecaps.shop. If you really want to support NYY Recaps and help keep the show going year after year, join up as a member.
Join us.
It's $5, and members get their names up in lights during each post-game show. We're also on all podcast platforms, Instagram, and Twitch this year. So give us a follow if you use any of those platforms. We're expanding, and we have you to thank for making this such a great community. We'll see you next time.
It is your destiny.
Case closed.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.